plants change their girth size between day and night, so that during the night they get fatter, and then during the day they get thinner as they lose moisture. The general consensus is that water moves through a tree through a thin capillary tube, where the evaporation of the water in the leaves pulls on the tensile strength of the water in the tube, which then pulls water in from the ground. A bunch of capillary tubes with one-way valves in them. I thought, well, that sounds reasonable. So I tried an experiment where I built a weird looking device with one-way valves in it to see if the sun's heat would move water from one section to another with all the one-way valves. The brass fittings you can see are the one-way valves on each section. Unfortunately, it did not work. So all you budding geniuses out there, if you can come up with a way of pumping water without any moving parts like a tree, you might manage to make yourselves a lot of money. I have been reading some material about how water moves from underground to the leaf tips in a tree. It appears that theoretically water has a tensile strength, which is the amount of strength it needs to pull apart, or until it pulls apart, is 18,000 bar or 18,000 atmospheres, which is a lot. However, that's the theoretical. Some people have done some experiments and found that, generally speaking, there's only about a 1 to 3 bar differential in the plant stems during normal operations. Some students done an experiment where they filled the tube full of water, plugged one end so the air couldn't get in, left the other side in a bucket of water, and walked up a set of stairs. Now, the highest general atmospheric conditions, as in the air around you pushing on the base of the tree to push the water up the tree, only goes 10 metres or a touch over 10 metres. So they couldn't get the pipe any further up the ladder without it cavitating or splitting. There's an old adage that says water begets water. What this means is that if you have an area that is slightly damp or humid compared to another area, then rain clouds will tend to drift over your area because it's slightly cooler than the surrounding area and drop more rain. I have noticed around here just recently that where I am normally in a very dry spot, I do appear to be getting additional rain where normally I would not. I always thought bottle brushes liked dry feet. I have learnt since I've been here that they like wet feet. The reason I know this is all these bottle brushes, when I first got here, always looked like they were on the verge of dying. And none of this green stuff you can see in front was there. It was just sand. Now, once I started putting water over these sections, the bottle brushes actually looked healthy, and they are now growing and making flowers. And all this green has grown up holding all the soil together. And if you can see some of it, it's still very wet in patches, and we haven't had rain for about 10 days now. This is the green section up the top that I've managed to grow. This dam has always been here. Built this small dam to again reduce the flow of water, which then overflows, and if you can see just over the top, it is also lush green. And then you can see two dam walls, or a chain of dams, that hopefully keep water longer in the soil. We have a lot of green growth.